Welcome to our presentation on Challenge 3, Emergent Heart, Identifying the Signals of Intuition. We are Team 3 Brilliant. We have the 5 of us. We're from all sorts of different backgrounds and sectors. My name is Paul Courtney and I am the team captain. So the challenge is really about trying to identify signals that might suggest problems earlier on in a project by using people's knowledge. We've got some user stories there, but they all center around the same thing, which is basically leadership wanting to get hold of the knowledge of the people on the ground who are the experts, who know what's going on, and the flip side of that of the people on the ground wanting to have their voices heard and their concerns addressed. So really our guiding principles, to name but a few, are that people often do know about problems in a project before the KPIs show them. And we know that a happier workforce is a more productive workforce. We've also got our problem and we've got some of the root causes behind that, and we'll address some of those later on in the pack. The aim really here is to create a tool to capture the data and to make some visualizations of that data to show leadership, what some of the problems are. And our vision is for that to prove that you can use people's knowledge to preempt problems going in a project. We can try and fill in some of the areas with new KPIs, and of course we can influence people's sentiments around a project.
Okay, so research by Oxford University has proven a link between staff happiness and productivity. When they're happy, workers are 13% more productive. So how do we unlock that productivity? Whilst traditional project KPIs analyse the project data to the nth degree, we largely ignore the sentiment of our employees to understand their confidence or happiness. But these are the things that underpin the employee engagement that influences everything we do and every task that's undertaken. Happy people work harder, smarter, and are more effective. Now, these aren't trivial issues. These are things that can really hurt a project. Sentiment is critical to project success. I personally can testify to times where I've missed contractual deadlines because the internet was unreliable. As a result, the supplier was awarded an extension of time worth thousands in avoidable cost. It hurt my budget, it hurt my program, and it damaged our clients' confidence. We need to provide the right environment for people to be at their best and to use their experience and intuition to understand our exposure to risk.
About the data used in the project. To collect employee sentiment, we used a questionnaire that was sent out through Microsoft Forms, and then Power Automate was used to send regular reminders to employees to complete the form. There are 2 sets of data used. One is the business as usual KPI data that will already be generated, and the second data set is from the Microsoft Form submissions. Both of these are stored as a table in an Excel file and then linked to Power BI.
So here we have a traditional KPI dashboard that we've built using the data that's been collected from the project sentiment form. This allows us to show a comparison between multiple projects and the perspective of the traditional project KPIs. This graphic here shows the project sentiment versus the average KPI score. Now you can see during that red block, October 2020, the project sentiment starts to dip, but we don't see that dip in the KPIs until April 2021. So using the data that we've collected as part of the sentiment, we can understand what's causing that dip and help us to make sure those issues don't happen in the future. This here is a dashboard that's been created using the sentiment data from Microsoft Forms. We can monitor the number of employees completing it and also the quality of the answers that are being given. We can also use the one sentence area to drill down into those problem areas and to really hone into what's causing those issues within the project.
So really that shows then our tool kind of addresses those root cause problems that we identified earlier on. The tool can actually be used in 2 different ways. The first is to kind of identify those gaps and try and fill those in. But the flip side of that is it can also identify if there are no gaps. That is a way of giving leadership the assurance that the project is actually really healthy and there aren't any gaps that they're missing. But in either instance, you kind of have to use this tool alongside your traditional ones. You keep it going throughout the whole life of the project. And one really powerful thing about this tool is its flexibility. You can tweak questions, you can tweak things, and you can use some of the really good tools that are already out there about sentiment analysis to really deep dive into some of the free text fields that we get. So some of that feedback from the users. So it's a really, really flexible tool.
So the data is collected in a linear structure using a list of responses captured from the analysis form. When the data is consolidated, what we're looking for is trends and a weight of feeling, collectives of people highlighting concerns about specific issues. And by looking for trends in the data, it will enable us to mitigate the outliers or those that are just having a bad day and making sarcastic comments. People on a project are the eyes and the ears, and they're out there living it. It's this sentiment data that we can use to leverage their insight. If our safety department are concerned with safety standards, that could be a warning of a potential accident that could be avoided and highlights the need for a more comprehensive review. If our QSs are concerned about budget pressures, it's likely we've got a cost problem coming down the line that might need a deep dive. Now, this doesn't solve the problems and it's not designed to, but it highlights high potential issues early in a positive way and affords management an opportunity to understand and influence them and deliver a better outcome.
So there you can see our original users from the user stories. They're all now much happier. Those leadership guys can actually now drill down into the data, get the experience and the knowledge from the guys on the ground, and really understand what's going on with the project. And the flip side is that the guys working on the ground, they feel that they can provide that feedback quickly and easily. They feel listened to and they feel happier. And so that's it. That's our solution. Thank you very much for listening.